Hi, my name is Beth Still, and this is episode 2 of A Google a Week. My special guest this week was supposed to be Janelle Schultz, and we actually did a recording last week, but there were some major audio issues. It was very crackly. Our internet, excuse me, our internet kept dropping off. And so instead of bothering Janelle to join me again and spend another half hour going through some things with me, I just decided to record this week on our own. And Janelle, if you are listening and you want to um, pop in maybe another week later in the year, or maybe take one of these apps that I'm going to talk about in GSweet, we can definitely do that. So this week, really, what our purpose was just to give you a basic introduction to what used to be called Google Apps for Education, which is now called GSweet. Um, Even though we're in our third year of adoption here at Gehring, I know there are still quite a few teachers who are a little bit hesitant to kind of move away from what they're comfortable with Microsoft Office and move into this world of Google. But as more and more students are getting Chromebooks, it is so important that you understand how the Google side of this works, because that's what our students are going to be using. And it makes all the difference in the world when you understand how it works and you're not afraid of it, and you can just embrace it and use it to hopefully to its fullest capacity. So just very quickly, I'm going to go into some of these different apps a lot more in depth in different episodes throughout the year. But basically, G Suite, when you click on New, you can see that there are Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides, which is your basic, the equivalent, I should say, to Microsoft Office. When you click on More, here's kind of where the magic starts to happen. We have Google Forms is in here, and Google Drawings, and those are two different applications within the Google Suite that just aren't used nearly enough. And later in the spring, I have a couple of people who are going to kind of take a look at those with me on some different episodes here. This is also how you get to Google My Maps, at least one of the ways you can. And the new Google Sites, you also get to from this Google Drive now. The other thing that you might not know is if you scroll all the way to the bottom, and you probably won't have as many apps on there as I do right now. When you click the plus to connect more apps, you have hundreds of apps that you can add to your Google Drive. Things like Lucid Chart. I'm trying to think of the equivalent of this in the Microsoft world. I cannot remember. But this helps you create trifold brochures and some different things like that. And you have access to that by adding it here. There's also another app on here, and I just flew by it. Oh, Doc Hub, right here. Remember all those crazy issues we had at the beginning of the year with trying to fill out our goals on the PDF, and it wouldn't save, and we would send it to our principal, and then they would get it and say, oh, there's a blank document, there's nothing here. Doc Hub eliminates all of those issues, and it does so much more. It makes it incredibly easy to edit a PDF and save the layer that we annotated on with it. Later in the year, this is going to be an amazing tool to use for like our sign out sheets, where we have to take those around and get them signed by different people. If you use Doc Hub, you can just email it to those people. So if you have to email it to the cafeteria to get their sign off that you don't owe any money, or to that you've turned in your keys, or you've done whatever all those steps are, those people you can email it to them. They can sign off on it electronically. No papers exchanged. Nothing's going to get lost. It's just a great add-on to add to your Google Drive. The other thing that I want to point out, and this is something that I'm going to visit with Andy Stobel about in a couple of weeks, is, let me just pull up a document here, is the ability for us to interact on documents, whether it's with our coworkers or whether it's with our students. I believe this is one of the most powerful elements of Google Docs. And I just happened to pull up a doc. You can also do this on slides and uh, drawings and other apps. But if I have a student, okay, this is something that teachers developed just kind of as a sandbox document a couple years ago. But let's say that I have a student, I want to provide some feedback. Maybe this piece of information isn't accurate, or maybe this is accurate. And I'm just going to click on the plus, and I'll just plus Janelle Schultz on this. And I might say, is this really true? The reason I put the plus there is because if I simply just put a comment on here without basically tagging somebody in it, you won't necessarily know that I made this change. By putting the plus sign on there, the person that I'm tagging gets an email that says, hey, Mrs. Still left a comment for you. And it actually emails them the comment, and they can read it right there, or they can link right back to this document. And as soon as, if I'm not going to do this because I don't want her to wonder what I'm doing, but as soon as I click comment, Janelle would get an email on that, and then she could either comment back or come back into the document and leave a comment for me. The other thing that you can do now in Google is you can assign things to specific people. So this is great if we're doing some group work. Let's say we have 3 or 4 students and we have this template that we want them to fill out, and we want Susie to fill out the top half and Jimmy to fill out the middle and Joe to fill out the bottom. We can actually assign those different parts to different students so we know who did what. And to make sure, we can always follow up in the revision history to see who actually did what. So right here, I mean, you can tell this document's over 2 years old, but this gives me a list of all the people who changed this document and what they did. So if I wanted to revisit this and go back to see what Jessica Boswell put on here, I could go way back to the moment she edited this document. We can go ahead 5 minutes and then see how this document has changed, and go ahead a few more minutes. So you can watch the history of the document unfold by using that revision history. And that really helps you gain some insight into who did what. And it's very powerful to be able to give students feedback right there on the spot. I know right now at the Freshman Academy, we're working on the one-to-one plan over there and the document that students are going to have to sign and just some ideas. And when Sean Seiler put that together, he gave each of the teachers over there commenting privileges. And it's been really great for us to be able to comment on that document and provide feedback and see what our peers have to say without having to meet face to face. It just saves us time, and it makes it very convenient. And then it's just a great way to work collaboratively. I really think that is about all I wanted to share with this. But if you have any questions about how to get your documents that you might have in Word, PowerPoint, anything like that over to Google Drive, so you can start accessing them at home. Not that you necessarily want to do that, but summertime and Christmas break and things like that, it's kind of nice to be able to catch up and kind of plan ahead a little bit. But just give me a call or an email, and I can definitely come over and work with you and show you how to do that, and maybe help you kind of figure out how to organize your drive and how to clean it up. One other thing I did want to mention, and I'm working on my computer right now, so it's not going to look quite the same. But on your desktop, you have a link to Google Drive, Google Sheets, Google Presentation, and I don't remember. It was Drive, Sheets, Presentation, and Docs. I think it was just the other one. The problem is, if you are opening those directly from your desktop, you'll notice that they are launching in Internet Explorer, which for some reason that is still set as our default browser. If it's best if you come down into your tray and open Chrome and then just go to straight up Google Drive, then you'll be able to work in those different applications within the Chrome browser, and it makes it so much easier to use. So I hope you learned something from this, and please don't hesitate to give me a call if there's anything else I can help you with. Have a great day, and I will see you next week.